Any good dad trip stories?
My last one sticks out for me, probably for the wrong reasons, but it was the dad's trip in Detroit. So obviously things aren't going great for me in Detroit. And it was like December or so. I mean, I'm not even coming close to touching the ice. And I got to invite my dad. I'm like, I don't think I should invite him on my dad hates Mike Babcock.
Clearing the crease. Oh. Clearing the crease. Hey, hey,
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Clearing the Crease podcast, powered by, are you ready, Ozune.net. That's right, goodbye Bodog, and we're going straight to Ozune. Yeah, he's the Calder Trophy winner, Andrew Raycroft. He's the Stanley Cup winner, Mike Commodore. I'm the guy who many of you like to think on social asked way too long a question. Yeah, I'm James Cebulski. Hey, just a quick reminder, everybody, if you're enjoying the show and you're loving the content that we bring you through the podcast and the add-ons through social, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify, or make sure you're following along, whether you're subscribed on YouTube, following on Instagram, X, TikTok, or wherever you are tuning in from. The Clearing the Crease podcast is powered by Ozune.net. The road to the Stanley Cup and the clearest route to winning big is to play on Ozune.net. Ozune has you covered for all props, game lines, futures, and from now right up until the Stanley Cup is hoisted and beyond, your power play is to be made with our friends over at Ozune.net. It's your turn now. Commie, Razor, the checks keep coming in, courtesy of our friends at Ozune. How about that? How you look at your all smiles there, Commie?
Well, yeah. I mean, as long as those checks keep coming in, Ozune.net. I mean, I got some questions. What happens to my Bodog account? Does it just transfer over? Anyways, yes. We are very thankful for Ozune. And it does.
It does. We're getting the word. It does.
Okay,
it definitely transfers over. Don't have to do anything at all. And I didn't know you guys were getting paid for this. I got to figure out. I got to talk to my agent.
Donating your time for the last 3 years.
Wait a second. What the
money? Nobody told me about this. Oh, man.
I've had your check sent to my place.
Yeah,
sorry.
Exactly. No wonder you're at the waste management every week.
That's right. Yeah, it is sweet.
Why don't we start there? Commie, how was waste management this year?
Oh, man, I had a lot. I mean, I know this. I'm okay now, but we're recording on the Monday. But yeah, it was good. The changes they made a couple years ago. So I ended up going there Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then the Super Bowl party. Yeah, tournament was great. Scores were good. I didn't see anything like too crazy happen personally. It was definitely busy, but not like out of control. So yeah, had a good time and then rolled that. I'm not doing this again. I'll tell you that. Ken Holland, friend of the show, he had his little Whisper Rock trip. So we had, including like all of us, there was 16 of us. We teed off. So, Sunday, I like going Sunday to the waste management. Might be my favorite day just because it's a little bit calmer. The leaderboard's kind of set up. You can watch them come through 10 and 17. That's where I hang out. So that part was cool. Then straight into the Super Bowl party at my buddy's house for the first year in a long time because they're all Kansas City people. Chiefs weren't in it. Yeah, so you could cheer for whoever you wanted openly, and it was okay. So that was different. But
no duck hunting this time?
No duck hunting. No duck hunting. I still got a bone to pick with them for that. But
inside joke.
Yeah. But it was good. And then the next day that trip kicked off. So I had stayed up at Whisper Rock for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night.
Oh, mama.
Names you guys would know. John Buchagras was playing. Ray Ferraro was playing. Darren Pang was playing.
It was a media trip.
It was a media trip. Yeah. Ken Holland was playing. Chuck Kobasu was playing. Ray Whitney was playing. Murray Craven, if you guys remember that name.
Yeah. Former
he was a hell of a player. Murray Craven
Whaler
was playing. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, lots of fun. But Ken is a psycho when it comes to golf. He hasn't played at all during the season, really. And then keep in mind, I just did 4 out of 5 days at the Waste Management. Monday afternoon tea time. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 36 holes.
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
So
I was tired.
You're cooked.
Oh, man. Yeah, the guys were like, look at me at the table. They're trying to get me going because they like when I get after, Canada. It's the same stuff every year. Get after Canada about Babs and this and that. And I'm sitting in the corner. I'm like, I just want to walk up to the first tee and go to bed, like over where the bunkhouses are. But it was a good time. But yeah, a couple of days of rest after that. But yeah, waste management was a success. Sorry, that was a long-winded answer, but it was fun.
It's a good trip, Razor, when Commie starts any story with, "Oh man."
I was exhausted.
Exhausted and or rum, then we're in good shape.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, I did have a couple rums at the end, but anyways, let's keep it moving.
just to see if it worked.
Yeah, I didn't.
Razor, you're in Quebec City right now for the legendary minor hockey tournament. Give us a sense of the flavor. Have you had some maple syrup yet? It's Carnival. What's going on?
Carnival just ended on this weekend, so I was here for Carnival. Saw the parade Saturday night, which was cool. At the Pee Wee tournament, the kids are playing in the big rink. There's like 12,000 people watching Pee Wees skate around on the ice. It's super cool. Quebec City is much bigger than I remember. A lot more to do. It's been a blast. Tons of poutine, tons of beaver tail, all the Canadian hot chocolate stuff. So our next game's Thursday. There's other guys here. I was telling the guys earlier, Commie, got Jumbo's here, Johnny Quick's here, Marcia. So I've seen a bunch of guys here. So it's been fun. It's going to end up being a long 10-day, like not complete Commie marathon 10 days, but pretty close. Like
long
there's
enough,
some parent that always wants to be at the hotel bar and
get after it.
Yeah. So I'm midpoint right now, but we'll see. The kids are having fun still. So I guess that's all that matters.
I have a question for you, Razor.
Yep.
Is the Dago Bear still there?
The Dago Bear is still here. Yes, it is.
It's still there.
Yeah, 20.
Oh, man.
So, Commie, the last time I was here was like 25 years ago when the Citadel played.
Yeah.
I was here with
me
Providence
too. Last
for
time.
a weekend. And
smoked like 9-1.
100%. Because you were in the Dago Bear the night before and the night after the next game. That exactly like I was. So, yeah, I had to take a trip down memory lane, took a walk up the hill and found the Dago Bear.
Awesome.
It's still not quite. I don't think it's, because we're old, that it's not quite the same. But man, that place was the best bar in all of Canada. It was like right there with the Roxy. Dago Bear and the Roxy are the two most infamous hockey bars early 2000s, no question.
Yeah, that place was awesome. That warms my heart that it's still around.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a run for the old Dago Bear.
Yeah,
God,
absolutely.
the hottest girl or bartender I have ever seen to this day.
Yeah.
Was at the Dago Bear. I still remember walking in. God,
I walked
great.
in one night and they had a live band playing, and it was probably a Tuesday night, and it was just perfect, like absolute heaven. To your point, like again, and yeah, you had Cowboys in, right? It's Roxy, Cowboys, Dago Bear.
Yeah.
Those are the three bars I think of in Canada that are on it, and Dago Bear probably takes the cake at the end of the day.
It might. Well put.
Yeah.
There you go. A Canadian historical moment.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
put it on a stand, or a Canadian heritage moment.
Like,
the
the
Bear.
heritage moment. Those three places need a heritage moment for sure.
Part of our Canadian fabric. Yes.
Peter Mansbridge can narrate it for everybody.
Oh, look at you both having a great time. All right, where to begin here? As we record this, we're smack dab in the middle of the Olympics with the Winter Games in Milano Cortina. And I got to tell you, look, the heavyweights have lived up to the expectation right now with both Canada and the U.S. I do want to throw this at you because there's a lot of moving parts as we record this, and not to have anything too dated as we record this, but I got to tell you, the one shock for me has been just how good 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini has been. 19 years old, and through the round robin, he goes 4 goals, 6 points through 3 games, and are either of you surprised at just how good? Like, we were talking about, is he going to make the team, right, for months? And then I think he pretty much locked a spot in probably by November. But Razor, start with you on this one. Like, are you surprised at just how good this kid's been at this level, like the tippy top, elite of the elite, best on best? And here he is.
I'm personally a little surprised. In hindsight, listening to Doug Armstrong and listening to the guys that played with him in world championships and the first half of the season, and then going back to, he was in Boston. He was at Boston University. So I watched him a lot in college and talked to Jay Pandolfo, and he's like, this kid's ridiculous. His work ethic, his motor as a 17-year-old is nothing I've seen. He competes harder and works every day. So in hindsight, no, but when you actually, you have to actually do it, right? And Doug Armstrong talked about how great he is, but coming out and doing it the way he has, and the penalty shot, like the best players, right, guys, they know the moment, they understand the moment, whether it was Jerome in '02 or Sid, like they just know the moment. And this kid is the next one in line for knowing and understanding the moment, and he's going to play in 5 Olympics. This kid, it's really crazy, and a lot of fun to watch. Canada's a wagon, man. Holy shit.
Commie, they're living up to the expectations I think the two of us kind of predicted America taking gold in this, but I'll tell you what, if I could do a redo right now, I really like this Canadian team.
Yeah, Canada definitely looks good. I'll stick with the Americans, but Canada does look good. To answer the question, I'm like Razor. I knew the kid was good. You listen, I go on these golf trips and, with hockey people, and, I hear they're like, and, it's no shot against Bedard. He's sick too, but pretty much to a man, they were both like, I think if you were to ask, they would take Celebrini slightly ahead of Bedard. And I'm like, wow, that's it's a pretty heady compliment. So yeah, but still to be doing it with the big boys is maybe slightly surprising for me as well. But yeah, the Americans, I guess at the end of the day, Seaball, we got to rely on this goaltending. Well, that's what we said. We said the Americans have better goaltending. So these goaltenders had better show up. No more goals. Hey, look, nothing against Swayman. I don't need to see him again. No. Although I did kind of feel bad. They did have that one. I know we're going to touch on it a little bit. Yeah. I did feel a little bit bad for him because you can see how that can happen.
Yeah.
It's still a bad look, but if you lose it for a second and it's dark, well, the next thing you know, the thing's over your shoulder. But I'm not sure if I want to see Swayman anymore. No disrespect to Swayman, but the American goalies better be ready to go.
Well, that kind of leads us to, what you just alluded to with Jeremy Swayman in that goal. This was something I think we thought this would be more of a Canada thing, and Jeremy Swayman allows for that. Razor, you're the goalie.
Yeah.
Walk us through, what does a goal like that do to attendee? At the same time, is it fair to say some of those are a lot harder than we want to give credit for? It's easy for us in the nosebleeds to say, jeepers creepers, how did that go in? But walk us through, because I think those goals can really cripple goalies mentally, I think, as we've seen in past history.
No question. The history tells you that. And fortunately, it was Denmark, right? Fortunately, that goal happens in a gold medal game. You're Tommy Salo. You never, ever live it down. You never come back. You never figure it out. Fortunately, they win the game. Unfortunately, you probably see that goal if the U.S. doesn't win. Somehow that goal is going to end up being the reason why they don't win the gold medal game, right? You're going to see that, just the way social media works and media nowadays. That's problematic for Jeremy. It's a bad goal. I'd love to give you an excuse. I'd love to it's horrible. You can't give it up, even if it gets lost in the boards or you have to find it early or whatever it was. It might have tipped off the shin pads out there, but no, that's bad. And then again, you give up a couple other ones that weren't great. So, and you talked about it, Commie. Guys know just as well as we do that you're not playing again when that happens. I think that goal goes in. I'm like, I'm not playing again in this Olympics. That sucks. You're just trying to get through the game at that point.
The other one, Razor, and you know more about it, but if I remember, I watched that game, or I watched at least the first 2 periods. The other goals weren't great either, if I remember.
No, the clapper from the point late in the second, with 2 seconds left. You got to if you make that save and you win 6-2, and then it's all laughing, but you give up 2, and then it's just and you don't get through on goal differential. So now you have a harder playoff because of those goals. It all just kind of loops into Jeremy not having the best Olympic experience, unless they win gold, and then it all doesn't matter.
Although I will say, I'll give Swayman a break on that clapper. With 2 seconds, hey, if you're that forward, either block that thing
Get the
or
hell
get
out
the
of
hell
the
out
way.
of the way.
Yeah, JT Miller.
If you're going to go out there kind of like sort of in the middle and not really doing it, just get the hell out of the way. There's
Yeah.
like a second left. Like,
Yeah.
so I'll give him a little break on that one. He was screened, but yeah.
Have
You know what, Swayman? Just enjoy the Olympic
Yeah,
Village. Enjoy
exactly.
the rest of the tournament.
Still there.
You know what I mean?
Still there.
Ottinger. Yeah, you're having a
You
great
make 8
time.
balloons a
Go enjoy
year.
yourself.
Just hang out.
Yeah, life's good.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
Time to get in one, right? It's
Yeah.
But like, I guess I'd be just curious, like, how long do those stay with you, Razor? And Commie, I don't know if you've ever had a goalie that you played with that had one of those, because I just think with history, and not to bring up guys, we talked about Tommy Salo. I remember Vesa Toskala had one when he was with the Leafs. I think right before you got there, Razor, or right after
I was
you
there.
got
I was on
there.
the bench for that 200.
You were there for that.
I was
Okay,
sitting right
yeah.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the bouncing all the way down the ice. And
Yeah.
so Seaball, I would say and I know you're going to go to this one because this is the Canadian one, is Danny Kluche, right? Lidstrom one hops it from center ice in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The playoffs is where this gets interesting, and probably this tournament as well, which is why we're not going to see Swayman again, because they don't want to even bother having that happen or get ugly. Playoffs, that momentum changes everything. Vancouver was up 2-0. That skipper goes in game 3, and Detroit wins 4-2, right? And that's how the playoff series went. Those ones in those playoff series get in your head. I don't think the one on Vesa, it was a Tuesday night on Long Island. He'll just forever have to live with that video. But the ones in the playoffs, they stick with not just the goalie, but the entire team. You, as a team, right, Commie, you're like, maybe this isn't our year when those ones go in.
Yeah. I remember a couple of them. Well, the one that always pops to mind, and I had nothing to do with it because I thought the dog was going to snap when I was watching on TV. When Anderson, the Flames Oilers, and Anderson scored that one from the top of the circles at the far end on Smith Dog.
Yeah.
He didn't see it at all.
Smith Dog
I thought he was going to. I thought the Smith Dog was going to lose his marbles out there. But yeah, actually, interesting would be, and obviously it's probably not going to happen. But if the exact same thing happened, well, I guess it's too late let's just say moving forward, if the same thing happens to Binnington, is he out? You think?
I would think.
Even if they win okay.
Razor.
Okay, I was just curious because
they're
USA
now,
has
if they
better
lose,
options.
they're out, right? So I think you're in. You win, you're in.
Yeah, fair enough. That was probably too late for that question. That was more of a prelim question if that happened.
No,
and
I would say, like, even if that was a prelim, just the amount of questions, just based on how the track record had been for Binnington this season from October, November, December, January. I mean, mid would be nice to describe the way his season had been. So I think if Jordan Binnington coughs up one of those, I mean, I'll defer to the goalie on this one, but I think the hook would be short. It'd be a short
if he
hook.
had him in the first game, but now he's locked and loaded, like giving up one goal.
They're rolling with him.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's big boy.
So there you go. In terms of where with the Swayman, Commie, I wanted to ask you, because we've never had a chance to talk to you about this aside from an incident in Russia where a very short individual slapped Jonathan Taves and you quickly hoisted individual into
Russian
a wall.
Gangster or whatever he was.
You wore the Maple Leaf for Canada at the World Championships, I believe, in 2007. You never. This is a year after you win a Stanley Cup, and here you are representing Canada at the World Hockey Championship. Like, you never bring this up. You're always very modest about your career, but like, what was that experience like in terms of playing for Canada? That had to be a huge honor for you at that time.
Yeah, it was. It was. The timing of it, there was a couple things that worked in my favor because you think Team Canada defense, Mike Commodore doesn't come to mind right away.
You're saying that Pronger and Niedermeyer weren't available that year.
They were busy. Yeah, I think they were playing for the Ducks, and I'm pretty sure the Ducks won that year. So that helped my case. It was also where the tournament was, Moscow. A lot of the good players didn't want to go, so that helped me. You got to go down that line. I'm down towards the bottom, and then the timing of it was good. And Ray Whitney actually really helped me out with it because Yzerman was the GM. Him and Ray are boys. They played together in Detroit, and Yzerman called Ray for his opinion. I think he was picking. This is what Ray told me after the tournament. He's like, "Yeah, Yzerman said it was between me and Andrew Ference," and so Steve's like, "Well, what do you think?" And so, obviously, Ray's from Fort Saskatchewan. We just won. We're playing together at the time. Obviously, Ray's like, oh, Mike, for sure. So that's how I got into the thing. In saying that, it was for me personally, I knew it was probably going to be the only time it happens. It was a really cool experience for me. Our team got ripped on at the beginning because all of our guys, like we had really good players. Don't get me wrong. We had from Cam Ward was in net, Rolison was in net. We had Eric Stahl, Justin Williams, Shane Doan was the captain, Rick Nash, Jordan Stahl, Dion Phaneuf. Shea Weber came over after Nashville lost in the first round, elbowed somebody in the head, never played another game. We had good players, but the good players we had were like younger. So nobody knew. We went over there to Tampere, Finland.
Yep.
We played Team Finland. Yeah. And we lost just an exhibition game. We lost like 3-2 or something. And then we went over to Russia. And from that point forward, we went 9-0 and won the whole thing. I will say, for me personally, the experience was awesome. I got to hear the Canadian national anthem 9 times. Didn't have to listen to anybody else. That was nice. We beat the Americans. I had a couple points in that game. That was nice. I will say there was a couple things off ice that I would say helped us out. One was at first half the teams, maybe more than half. I don't think it was every team. But we were staying at the Hotel Cosmo in Moscow. And you guys should have seen this dump. I mean, it was a hotel where in the lobby, to get to the elevator on the middle of the afternoon and the evening, you had to battle your way through about 30 hookers. It was like the bar there. It was like a breakfast buffet in the morning, a borderline strip joint / karaoke bar in the evenings. So, and the food, I'm not picky when it comes to food. I'll eat almost anything. For the first half of the tournament, the only thing I ate was yogurt and granola. The meat, and it was disgusting. So, I could kind of see, it's a long tournament too. I could kind of see the guys I knew, Eric Stahl, Cam Ward, and Justin Williams. We were all in Carolina. I could kind of see guys and then you could kind of see guys nosedive because they're like, it's May. This place is a dump. What am I doing? Yeah. And Steve Yzerman actually came and talked to me. He goes, Mike, what do you think? This is right before the quarters, I think. Right? Yeah, it was before the quarters, basically halfway through the tournament. He's like, what do you think? And I remember I told Steve, I'm like, hey, I go, look, I'm trying the best I can with the guys that I know to keep them up. None of this stuff bothers me, but I'm like, we're losing some guys off ice. This isn't the easiest hotel. I'm like, I don't know if there's even an option, but just to let you know. And the next day, apparently the general manager for the Hotel Swiss in downtown Moscow was a Canadian guy. And so the next day we were out of the Cosmo and into the Hotel Swiss. Honestly, it's one of the major reasons why we won the tournament. You could see everybody's energy level went up. The rooms were nice. The food was, the difference between the two hotels was staggering.
This is another Canadian heritage moment when Steve Yzerman went to Mike Commodore and asked him, what do you think,
Big
Mike?
Time.
We need a better hotel. Put it on a stamp.
There was still, I would say, I'm looking at Stu's comment, maybe, you're looking around, it's like 6:00 at night. There's a couple of girls sitting in the lobby and they're dressed to the nines on a Tuesday. There was a couple of hookers in the lobby, but very easy to avoid. No big deal. It's not like they were swarming the elevator and you couldn't get to your room. Yeah, it was great. And, speaking to this tournament, not this tournament, but I do think there's something like our toughest games were the first couple games, playing against Norway and the prelim games. And I think the only reason was that, first off, they're pretty good. Secondly, you're still getting used to each other. We don't play together very often. Well, never again. Mm-hmm. And so the first we had some tight games in the prelims. We ended up winning them all, but a couple of 1-goal, maybe 2-goal games. And then once it got to the quarters, we were rolling. And Finland did us a huge favor by beating Russia in the other semifinal. That was nice because I was like, man, I don't really need to see Ovechkin in this tournament and Malkin and all these guys at home. And Datsuk wouldn't have been there. But anyways, I'm like, so the Finns did us a huge favor and then we pounded them in the final.
That's great.
But it was fun.
That's awesome.
It's an experience I'll never forget.
I knew there'd be a story in there.
There's more in there too. There was.
I feel like
it was an interesting 3 weeks. Yeah, there was more. We had a goals go in from the center line too. We had that.
Really?
We had a little goalie controversy there. We had Cam Ward and Dwayne Rollison, whom had just sort of, Dwayne got hurt in game 2 or game 1, just been to the finals the year before.
Yeah.
And we were going back and forth. And both, I'm not giving it to Dwayne. Dwayne was good. Like, there's no question about it. But in those prelim games, I remember Dwayne let one in from right around that red line. And, we're going back and forth. So the timing was going to be Cam plays the semifinal, which he did, and then Rolly was in for the final. If you asked anybody, look, we won the semis against Sweden. We were 8-0. Like, we were doing fine, and the goaltending was very, very good. But if anybody watching, if you're like, okay, you have to pick one, like Cam was playing a little bit better. I mean, I think if you asked Rolly now, he would probably admit it. But you know what? And Cam ended up playing in the final too.
Commie, if I remember correctly, was there a story about Rolly losing it on Steve Yzerman after the gold medal game because he didn't play?
I'm not sure if I should really get into that, but
all right, okay.
Yes, I wasn't there.
Okay.
There were a couple of cocktails involved after a big win.
My understanding
we went back
is
to the Hotel Swiss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what? To Dwayne's defense, during the game, before the game, during the game, after the game, he was a great teammate. Like, he was awesome on the bench. He was into it. So I'm not giving it to Rolly at all. He was an awesome teammate. After we won and got back to the Hotel Swiss and started pounding booze, and everybody's leaving at different times. So, and the bar wasn't closed, and we could stay there. I wasn't there in person, but I think cocktails got involved. And,
words were exchanged. Yes.
Some emotions came out. Yes, it's from what I heard.
Truth serum.
Anyways, we won 9-0. Rolly got his gold medal back after he lost it, and it's all good.
Where's your gold?
My gold medal's at home with my cup ring, and it's with everything else.
Okay.
We got a nice little ring too. We had a little. Well, they probably don't do the Team Canada galas anymore after the catastrophe that's been the last few years. But that year was one of the years where the World Juniors won and we won, and Jonathan Taves was on both teams, and the gala was fun. It was awesome. There's stories about that too. That big heavy cup. The gala was in Calgary, so it's in my stomping ground. So we were running around. It was fun. I had a great time, and it was definitely one of the better hockey experiences in my life for sure.
Awesome. That's a great. So many layers to peel back on that experience, and I feel like it could go down. Again, down the road. I want to change things up. A new segment here on the Clearing the Crease podcast. Well, actually, several years ago, we did it when we first started. And you know what? It is back. So just based on how much feedback we often see, we wanted to get you as a viewer, as a listener, involved again here with the show. So use the hashtag ASKCTC in any of the comments, whether you're watching on social media, whether it's on Instagram, X, TikTok, or if you're watching on YouTube, where we continue to find thousands and thousands of new viewers and subscribers. So that is awesome. So this week's question from our listeners comes to both of you. Any good dad trip stories? Razor?
I did dad's trips 1, 2, 3. I must have done 4. 2 in Toronto, 1 in Denver, 1 in. I don't think we didn't do it in Vancouver because of the Olympic break, and then Dallas they didn't have any money because Commie's buddy wasn't there yet. The league was running it, and they couldn't pay. Yeah, the league couldn't pay.
No dad's trip.
League was on, and they cut everything. We were staying in the Cosmo that year, I think, with the Dallas Stars. So the first couple were awesome, right? Toronto, but it was just the one day, like just in and out. Those ones were great because the dads got to see a little bit. But the best one I did was by far in Colorado with Adam Foote and Joe Sakic. So my dad's like, he never played hockey, but he knows those guys. Like those are the big boys. Getting to meet those guys, and we went out on the boat and everybody, in Florida. So we're in Florida, Tampa, and Fort Lauderdale. So you take the boat out and have the dinners, the whole thing. So that was awesome. They were always just so funny because everybody was worried about their dad showing up in the morning, right? Like one that you could see as soon as the dads are like real quiet, that when they get on the plane, they get off the plane, they're trying to be respectful, but then you get to dinner and instantly it's a boys trip and everybody starts telling the stories, and a couple of the dads are just like their kids and they get going and wound up. And then you're like, all right, Dad, I'm going home. Like, just be up in the morning. All right. Like, you're like babysitting your dad on the trip. It's like being at this hockey tournament right now where I'm telling my kid, like, okay, just don't go in the pool at 9:00 at night. It's like, that's what I was doing to my dad while he was on the trip. So they're great memories, but certainly the one I did in Denver was awesome. Really memorable for everybody.
Yeah, I did a few of them too. I'm not sure. I mentioned it before we started recording, and I might be wrong, but I think Carolina, like my first year, I think we were, like I said, I'm not 100% sure on this, but if we weren't the first, we were one of the first teams to start this dad's trip or do the dad's trip or whatever. Yeah, my dad actually, my dad doesn't really drink. So, and we would always, in Carolina, and the rest, we would always room with our dads, like two double queens, obviously. And
first two times I roomed with my dad too.
Yeah, which was fun. Like, I remember from my dad, my dad barely, he doesn't travel too much. He rarely gets on a plane, let alone like a plane full of first class seats that's loaded with food that he's probably never even seen before. And so he was like blown away by, like, you got shrimp cocktails and stuff like that. He's like, oh my God. I'm like, don't eat yourself off the plane, Dad. But so that was cool. But the one that my last one sticks out for me, probably for the wrong reasons, but it was the dad's trip in Detroit. So obviously things aren't going great for me in Detroit. And it was like December. So I'm not even coming close to touching the ice. And I got to invite my dad. I'm like, I don't think I should invite him on my dad hates Mike Babcock. So I'm like, hey, Dad, we got this dad's trip. I think we went to Toronto and somewhere else. And I'm like, hey, it's so-and-so, you want to come? And he's like, you can imagine his response. It was like, hell no, I'm not coming. So I'm like, okay. And I'm like, that's probably a good thing. So I ended up, I went to Ken. I never talked to Babs. I went to Ken, or I don't even know, it was either Ken or I might have went to Lidstrom or Zetterberg. I go, hey, I know it's a dad's trip, but I made some shit up. Like, my dad's not like busy or whatever. He wasn't busy, but I'm like, can I just bring my brother? And they were like, yeah, bring your brother. I'm like, all right, perfect. So I've got a younger brother who's 4 years younger than me. So I called him. I'm like, you want to go on a trip? He's like, yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm like, let's go. Like I said, it was a 2-game trip. 0 chance I'm playing. So we flew in.
Good night.
We floored it around Toronto. And I do remember Toronto in particular. Oh, we got after it in Toronto. So I remember a bunch of the guys, like, we went to the game for most of it, maybe. I can't really remember. But then we were out downtown and a bunch of the guys came. We had a little thing or whatever. Like, everybody came together. It was a really good time. And my brother, obviously, he's sitting around with, Zetterberg and Lidstrom and, his brother's hammered in the corner, giving it to the head coach. Like, Babs wasn't there, but like, anyways, my brother had a blast and it was, it worked out well. That's for great. Sure. Yeah.
There you go. Don't forget to use the hashtag AskCTC and just respond, whether in social media, where you're following along, or in YouTube as well. And we'll find a question each and every week to incorporate here on the podcast. All right. Going forward, I wanted to ask you right now, we're in a holding pattern for the National Hockey League when things resume. This one for everybody here. Which team currently holding down a playoff spot do you predict will not be in that spot by the time the season ends? Razor?
Eastern Conference, I'm taking the Islanders. I think Washington or Columbus get the Islanders. They're 4 points back to third place in the Metro. Sorokin's been lights out. Whether he can keep that up, he's been saving the Islanders. So I love the Islanders story. I love Patty Waugh. I think they get caught by Washington or Columbus. On the other side, Seattle's out. Seattle's going to be out. I think the LA Kings, Kenny Holland making the big deal for Panarin. They lose Fiala in the Olympics, which we'll get to later after the Olympics. We'll debrief that one.
Yeah.
But I think LA finds a way in, Seattle out in the West.
Commie.
I didn't even look at the East, but well, here, I'll just tell you exactly what I wrote down. So Razor and I are kind of on the same program. I had Kraken or Ducks out, but I was going to lean towards the Kraken because I think we kind of all picked the Ducks to make it in. But I guess I can go with it. You know what? They have a worse goal differential anyway. So I'll go Ducks out. And, I just spent last week with him. So if he hears this, I wanted to be positive about his team. So I had the Kings going in, but I did forget about that Fiala thing. But maybe his big pickup there with Panarin.
And he can do more work now. Fiala out, he'll have some money. Kenny can work his magic. Now he's working the phones today after hanging out with you all week.
Yeah, get off the golf course, Ken, and start making trades.
Exactly.
There we go. Don't puck it up. Are we rolling with don't puck it up this week here? I'll tell you what, let me throw this one for you guys. It's a little bit of a step to the side with respect to hockey, but kind of with sort of a winter games feel. And my don't puck it up goes to Sturla Holmgren. Maybe you guys have heard of this gentleman. 3 Olympic medals during the games in Milano Cortina for Sturla Holmgren from Norway. But he's been defined more for what he said after his first medal win rather than his athletic accomplishments. The Norwegian biathlete broke down in tears after his first bronze medal, admitting that he cheated on his ex-girlfriend in what was perhaps the craziest interview in Olympic history. Oh, yeah. Hey, Sturla, I respect your honesty, but you know what? It really hasn't worked in winning back your ex. And you know what? Polling friends and colleagues and family, not a single person has said they would take you back. So going forward, when you have a spotlight on you in the future, don't air your dirty laundry. Celebrate your good. Next time, Sturla, don't puck it up.
That is perfect, Seaball. There's no need for any more after that. Commie's going to get the breakdown. But Sturla or whatever, I didn't know he had 3 gold medals, by the way. And number 2, there's 5 billion girls in the world. Just move on, buddy. You screwed up.
So you're telling me he won the first medal. He's on stage giving his interview, and he broke down and said that?
Yep. That's exactly what he did. He went to be interviewed by the Norwegian media. They said, hey, how does it feel? And basically like an open question, like, how does this moment feel?
Right.
And he proceeded to go and say, I wish this was a great time, but to be honest, this has been the worst week of my life because a few months ago I cheated on the perfect partner and I miss her so much and I wish she was there with me, and just tears are flowing. And I mean, you talk about putting himself out there. Sturla Holmgren, that is an interview for the ages.
So good.
Wow.
So
I can't believe I missed that.
Well,
I'm going to look that up when we get off.
Yeah, just give it a quick Google when we're done. Yeah.
Is he talking in English or Norwegian? Not that it matters.
He's done interviews in English as well, but the interview is translated.
The breakdowns
in Norwegian, so it's even funnier.
Oh man, what a catastrophe! Yeah. Well, he's heartbroken.
On that note, that'll bring this edition of the Clearing the Crease podcast to an end. He's Commie, he's Razor. Hey, just a reminder: be sure you're liking and subscribing to all the content if you're enjoying the show, and leave a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify if you're listening along, or if you're following along, make sure you're subscribing on YouTube. And don't forget, the Clearing the Crease podcast is now powered by Ozoon.net. The road to the Stanley Cup is open, and the clearest route to winning big is to play on Ozoon.net. Ozoon's got all the props, game lines, futures from now until the Cup final and beyond. Make your power play and score big with Ozoon. It's your turn now. He's Commie. He's Razor. I'm Cebulski. We'll see you next time right here on the Clearing the Crease podcast, powered by Ozoon.